Where we focus our attention is of the utmost importance, I think. Um, I'm going to talk about the Bible for a second. I'm not that well educated, I just know of the story. Jesus walking on water and then asking Peter to follow him. And Peter steps onto the water and he starts walking just like Jesus did. And the whole time he's walking, he's looking at Jesus, he's trusting Jesus because he saw him walk on water. He's like, okay, if God made him walk on water, God will make me walk on water. So he's walking. But then, maybe just due to impulse, he turns his head, looks at the storm, starts looking at the water beneath him, and then he starts to sink. And why is that? It's because he diverted his attention from the positive, right? He shifted his attention towards something negative, right? And the funny thing about life is that life is what you put into it. Energy is a constant flow. If you give negativity out into the world, all you're going to see is negativity, right? And if all you see is negativity, all you're going to feel and give back to the world is negativity. Same goes for positivity. If all you see is positivity, if all you choose to focus on is positivity, that's what you're going to see. It sounds dumb, but that's how simple it really is. And it can relate to any situation, really. In a sense, no matter how difficult the situation is, right? If there's two different choices, two different possibilities, if there's one possibility of the thing you want happening, and there's a possibility of it not happening, what usually tends to happen is what you focus on. I've seen this with my own two eyes because I focused on the possibility of something happening, right? It usually doesn't go exactly how you want it. That's the thing about the universe, is that it doesn't go exactly how you want it to, but it still happens. And that's the thing, is you gotta remove those expectations. Remove that perfectionism from the universe, because life is a group project. I don't know who believes in God or not, but I think that life is a group project between you, God, and the universe, and you are all intertwined, co-creating your life, right? I think it started to rain. I say that in a sense of different things are going to happen. And the thing with group projects is that they usually don't turn out exactly as you envision them, because everyone else has different visions. But if you work together, right, and you do your role in this group project, and the universe and God, those two are always going to do exactly what they're supposed to do, and some. That's the crazy. They're always going to go the extra mile. You have to match that, essentially, yourself. It's a choice. What I say is, we are co-creators of our lives, because it's our lives at the end of the day. It's not God's life. It's not the universe's life. It's our life. We are just working together with these forces to create our life. Again, not picture perfect, but there's beauty in the imperfections. And the imperfections help you get closer to some idea of being perfect, right? That's the thing. So again, focusing on what you can control in this sense, And when I say it's a group project, I want to introduce the idea of trusting the other members, You have to trust and know that the universe and God are always going to do what they're supposed to do. They're always going to get you right. They're always going to set up opportunities. They're always going to open up doors. They're always going to put you through hardship to test you, right? They're always going to give you chances to prove to them that you're ready for the next step. Now, I'm going to talk about that later on in a second. But you have to do what you have to do. You have to stop trying to control the whole project. I say you, I don't necessarily mean like you have to stop doing this right now. I journal in the second person, like talking to myself. Maybe I'm talking to myself, maybe I'm talking to someone else. Don't take this too personal. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just using you because it's easier for me. But as humans, we have to do our role and we have to stop trying to control everything. We have a little, it's scary, right? It's scary to surrender control in a sense. I felt that. But there are certain things that you genuinely can't do. And you have to, when we say surrender control, it's only surrendering our idea of control over certain aspects of our life. You know what I mean? This is something I've been repeating to myself. I guess you could call it a mantra, is that I am in complete control of my thoughts, my emotions, and actions. No one else has a say in these things. The universe can't control my thoughts, emotions, and actions. God can't control my thoughts, emotions, and actions. No one else in the world can. Nothing else in the world can. When I have to catch myself sometimes when I say, you made me mad, or this made me upset, or this made me really happy, even on the positive side, because I chose to feel that in that situation. When you lack self-control, you get triggered to choose easily. You know what I mean? When someone throws a ball at your head, you feel the pain, and the first impulse, not a choice, the first impulse is get mad, get angry. But you choose to go through with that impulse, right? If you get mad, if you yell at the person, that's your choice, And the process of building self-control is realizing that you have it and choosing in each moment to enact this self-control. To say, that's not that big of a deal, I'm not going to get angry for that. Or circle back to the point of this, not the point, but the introduction of this video. I choose to focus on the positives. I choose to focus on what I can control. It's very easy to focus on what you don't have. I have so many soccer jerseys, but I could go onto Instagram, Pinterest, and see a jersey of a player that I want and think, I really want that, man. And I think about how I don't have it. I'm going to use clothes as an example to say that you have everything that you need. I love clothes. I love shopping. One thing I do is spend too much money. And I'm tying this back into it because I have all the clothes that I need, right? Obviously, my style can change. I can want new things. But truly, I can choose to look... Whoa, sorry, the computer turned off. I can choose to look cool with the clothes that I have. Shopping is a hobby. I'm not going to deny myself that. But to tie it into the analogy is, I don't need more clothes, right? The new clothes will come when they come. The shopping will happen when it happens. God will take me shopping when it happens. But as of right now, I just have to focus on the clothes that I have and make cool outfits with them. And that's to say, we need to focus more on what we have instead of what we lack. We often tie our happiness or our satisfaction to reaching a certain point, when really we can choose to be happy and satisfied now, because life is a journey, right? And God has given us this present moment to live in. And it's disrespect to Him, and it's disrespecting yourself when you choose not to live in it. When you choose to be upset with what you've been given. Right? All I've been thinking about is college recently, because I'm in a very tough transitional period. and we're struggling to get the money to send me to college. Um, but the thing is, I have to, in a sense, make do with what I have, right? Um, my mind just blanked. Yeah, I can focus all I want on the financial aspects like I just was. Or I can say I have this opportunity to go to college. I have other opportunities elsewhere. Um, and I have what I have right now. I can choose to live in the present moment. I can choose to worry about where I'm going to be in a month. Or I can choose to live in the present moment. Focus on allowing solutions to come into my life. Right? Ow. It's a cold chair. Focusing on those aspects is what brings the blessings. You know, Psalms 11:24 says that, you know, when you pray, live like you have already received it and you will be blessed. And another thing, Mark 9:23, Jesus says, anything is possible for those who believe. All you have to do is trust the other members of your group. And it's so easy to do that when you just take a second to look back and see how far they've brought you, how much they've contributed to the overall project. Once you see that, you realize, okay, they've been doing what they're supposed to be doing. I have no reason to worry. I'm going to focus on my part of the project. In my case, in terms of my part of the project, is living in alignment with my best self, in my personal nature, continuing to improve myself spiritually, mentally, and physically, and choosing to just live the life that I want to live now, because you attract what you are, not what you want. That's another thing I want to talk about. You attract what you are, not what you want. You know, it's the law of something, some type of law. I know it, but it's not there yet. It'll come to me. That basically states that the more you try, the more you seek something, the further away it gets, the harder it gets. And you know, I heard something interesting from Profound Pondering, where he basically said, what you chase has no choice but to run from you. And that's to say, if I chase, validation, if I chase attention, if I chase success, if I chase, or even if I run from failure, in a sense, it has no choice but to run after me. It has no choice but to run from me. And that's another thing. Before I go down that path, if you focus on failure, if you focus on your fear of failure instead of your desire to succeed, you're probably going to fail. Because all you see is failure. All you see is the storm. You don't see Jesus standing on the water. All you see is the storm, and you start sinking. But let's go back to attracting what you are. You know, a lot of soccer videos I watch say that you have to start living like a pro now in order to become one. And that couldn't be closer to the truth. Because, like I said, you attract what you are. I like to say it in this way. You're proving to the other members of your group, you're proving to God, slow down, you're proving to God, you're proving to the universe that you're ready for these blessings. You know? They're not going to move forward with the project if you aren't ready for the next step. It's a group project in a sense that all of you need to be moving together, right? God and the universe aren't going to leave you behind. You know? And you have to realize that. You have to move forward. And in a sense, it's little trials here and there. You know, it's the book of Job, essentially. God tests you every now and again. After receiving your blessing, God tests you, the universe tests you, to see if you're ready for the next step. And if you're not, you go through a period of working towards building up to being ready for the next step. But I feel I'm at a point where I'm ready for the next step. I just haven't been showing it, right? I have been continuing to give into distractions that should have been let go a while ago, right? Social media, just literally watching YouTube videos that aren't the YouTube videos I need to be watching, right? Like, I can enjoy a Flight Reacts video every now and then, but not if I'm watching Flight to procrastinate watching a soccer video, right? To take notes and learn. Or if I'm putting off a workout. You know? Staying up late. Getting up late. They're not things that align with the life I want. And it's frustrating, but I can't be frustrated by it because I'm choosing to do these things, right? I'm choosing to give into these distractions. The only reason it's frustrating is because deep down I know, like, it's time to move past these things, right? It's to a point where it's actually easier for me to not do these things. I just continue to choose them. It gets to a point where I'm doing everything right. I'm eating early. I'm eating my 3 meals a day at the perfect time. I'm working out. But I'm just choosing to stay up late, you know? It's not like I went out. It's not like I had a unavoidable family plan where we finished dinner at 11 o'clock. No, I'm eating at home every single night. I'm eating early. I'm just not. It's just the little things that I'm not fully giving into. And that's what I've been doing. Right? That's what I've been focusing on. But you can't, in a sense, let go of the present moment. Because I can think about tonight. I can think about getting to bed early tonight. But that doesn't help me at all. I can think about, tonight I'll act in accordance with my best self. But tonight isn't the moment that I have. You know, the present is the present. The present is the present. Slow down. Because it's a gift. Because that's the gift God and the universe gave me, gave all of us, gave all humans. It's the present moment. Change happens here. It didn't happen yesterday. It won't happen tomorrow. It happens now. And it happens when you decide to change. When you choose to do the thing that you know you're supposed to do instead of putting it off. Right? Like, what time is it? 1:15? For me, that means probably sitting down, doing an isometrics workout. There we go. I just remembered. And then foam rolling. And then watching film. Or eating lunch first and then watching film. And then free time. You know? And then researching alternatives. Because that's another thing. You're not good enough for a plan B. You have to be open to all routes. It says so in The Art of Peace. You know? The true master embraces every path. Embraces all teachings. Right? It's like if I come across a video that's like a film breakdown for center backs and I watch it, I'm not going to be saying to myself, oh, this is stupid, why am I watching this? I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn because it's valuable information. Because it broadens, because knowledge is power. That's something my mom tells me all the time, is that knowledge is power. And making the choice to be more knowledged will never be detrimental. It will always help you further down that path, and it will always make you more prepared. And that's to say, thank you. If I post this video, thank you for watching it. Thank you for listening to me. If there's one thing that you take away from this video, is that you have the choice to live the life you want. And it starts with you. The universe and God are already making things work. They're already doing their part of the project. It starts with you. Stop putting it off. You have this moment now. Take it. Thank you. Peace.